There comes a point in every life when we look in the mirror and realize that who we are today is not who we were meant to be. Perhaps we've been shaped by disappointments, dulled by distractions, or trapped in routines that keep us small. Yet, beneath the surface, a greater version of ourselves waits to be revealed. Transformation does not always require massive leaps or dramatic upheavals. In fact, the most profound changes often begin with the smallest of shifts, tiny, consistent actions that accumulate into a completely new identity. Imagine planting a seed so small it seems insignificant, yet over time, with steady care, it grows into a tree that alters the entire landscape around it. So it is with the micro habits that we choose. These are not grand gestures, they are quiet, steady commitments. But if practiced daily, they can make you unrecognizable even to yourself, healthier in body, sharper in mind, and stronger in spirit. Tonight, I want to share with you 7 such micro habits, simple enough to begin today, yet powerful enough to redefine who you are tomorrow. Small hinges, after all, swing very large doors. 1. Rise with purpose, not with distraction. When you open your eyes in the morning, you are standing at the threshold of an entirely new chapter of your life. Each sunrise is not just another page, but a fresh opportunity to write a story that has never been written before. Yet far too often, the very first act of the day is not purposeful, but passive. Many people reach for their phones, scrolling through endless feeds, absorbing noise before their own thoughts have even had a chance to take root. In doing so, they surrender the authorship of their day to the agendas of others. To rise with purpose is to declare that your first moments belong not to distraction, but to direction. The way you begin is the way you are most likely to continue, and the foundation laid in the first hour sets the tone for everything that follows. Instead of letting distractions claim your attention, imagine rising with an intentional practice. This could be as simple as sitting quietly for a few minutes and focusing on gratitude, speaking a word of prayer, or writing down the 3 most important things you must accomplish. These are not grand undertakings, but they establish a mental compass that guides you toward clarity rather than confusion. Rising with purpose is not about cramming the morning with activity, but about aligning your first thoughts and actions with the person you are striving to become. The mind is most malleable in the early hours. Neuroscientists tell us that the brain's wave patterns in the morning create a state highly receptive to influence. If the first influence you allow in is a flood of notifications, arguments, or the weight of yesterday's problems, then you have already sabotaged your potential. But if you choose stillness, focus, and intention, then you harness this critical window to steer your day in a direction of strength. It is in these moments that seeds of transformation are planted. Consider the difference between a life of reaction and a life of initiation. A reactive morning leaves you constantly playing catch-up, always responding to crises, demands, and interruptions. An intentional morning, however, puts you in the position of the initiator. You decide what matters most and act accordingly. Over time, this shift compounds. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and suddenly your entire character has changed. You will notice yourself less anxious, more grounded, and remarkably focused on what truly moves you forward. The habit of rising with purpose is deceptively simple, yet its impact is monumental. By refusing to let distraction dictate your first steps, you reclaim authority over your own life. This daily decision may take only a few minutes, but its ripple effect extends into your relationships, your work, your health, and your spiritual growth. Every morning is an invitation. The question is whether you will rise to it with purpose or let distraction rob you before the day has even begun. The choice, though small, will ultimately shape the person you become. To hydrate as if your life depends on it. Water is the most overlooked tool of transformation, yet it is the very foundation upon which vitality, clarity, and endurance are built. Most people treat hydration as an afterthought, sipping only when thirst demands it, never realizing that thirst is already a signal of deficiency. Your body is composed primarily of water, your brain relies on it for clarity, your cells require it for energy, and even your emotions are affected by it. To neglect hydration is to silently sabotage yourself from the inside out. To hydrate as if your life depends on it is not an exaggeration. It is a literal truth. Each glass you drink is a small act of self-respect, a micro habit that, when consistently practiced, can alter the trajectory of your health and mindset in ways you might not expect. When you wake in the morning, you are dehydrated. Hours of sleep leave your body craving replenishment. Instead of reaching first for coffee, imagine beginning the day with pure water, flooding your system with what it needs most. This single act awakens your organs, flushes toxins, ignites your metabolism, and sets the tone for clearer thinking. Energy that many chase with caffeine can often be found in the simple discipline of proper hydration. What feels like fatigue is often dehydration. What feels like brain fog is often the same. By restoring what is lacking, you empower your body and mind to function at their highest potential. The practice does not require dramatic effort. A few intentional steps make all the difference. Carrying water with you signals to your mind that hydration is a priority. Setting reminders trains your body to crave consistency. Replacing just one sugary drink or processed beverage with clean water reduces strain on your system and frees up energy otherwise wasted on digestion and detoxification. Over weeks and months, these subtle shifts compound, leading to improved skin, stronger immunity, sharper focus, and greater endurance. These are not cosmetic perks. They are reflections of a body operating as it was designed to. There is also a deeper lesson hidden in the discipline of hydration. To hydrate as if your life depends on it is to acknowledge that the smallest, most overlooked choices often carry the greatest weight. Great transformation rarely comes from one dramatic leap. It comes from steady faithfulness in seemingly ordinary habits. Every time you choose water, you are choosing life over neglect, discipline over indulgence, and clarity over distraction. That choice builds not only physical strength, but also character. Think of hydration as more than a bodily requirement. Think of it as a daily covenant with yourself. You are declaring that your well-being is not optional but essential, that your body deserves care, and that your potential is too valuable to be dulled by neglect. The glass of water you drink today may seem insignificant, but multiplied across time, it becomes one of the cornerstones of becoming unrecognizable, radiant in health, sharp in thought, and anchored in strength. 3. Master the art of intentional breathing. Breathing is the most natural act you perform, yet it is also the most neglected. From the moment you were born, breath has been your constant companion, sustaining life without pause. But because it happens automatically, you may never stop to realize the extraordinary power hidden in it. Most people drift through their days breathing shallowly, locked in cycles of stress, fatigue, and distraction, never tapping into the transformative force available in each inhale and exhale. To master the art of intentional breathing is to awaken a dormant tool designed to restore balance, sharpen clarity, and strengthen resilience. When you command your breath, you command your state of being. Stress, anxiety, and fear often hijack your breathing, forcing it to become rapid and shallow. This signals to the body that you are under threat, even if the danger is only imagined. Your heart races, your muscles tense, and your thoughts scatter. But when you reverse the process, slowing the breath, deepening it, lengthening each exhale, you send a different message. You tell your body you are safe. The nervous system shifts. Calm replaces panic. Clarity replaces confusion. This is not wishful thinking. It is biology in motion. Intentional breathing is not simply relaxation. It is the key that unlocks control over the mind-body connection. Consider how a simple practice of pausing for even 5 minutes can change the trajectory of your day. Inhale deeply through the nose, allowing the breath to expand the diaphragm rather than the chest. Hold for a moment, then exhale slowly, longer than the inhale, releasing not just air, but tension. Repeat this cycle, and soon you will notice a quiet strength rising within you. What once felt overwhelming begins to lose its grip. What once felt heavy becomes lighter. This is the subtle but profound shift intentional breathing creates. Breathing intentionally also sharpens focus and enhances energy. Oxygen is the fuel for your brain and body. Shallow breathing starves you of this resource, while deep, rhythmic breathing floods your system with vitality. Athletes know this truth, using breath to push their limits. Warriors throughout history have trained their breath to steady their aim and sharpen their instincts. You too can reclaim this ancient discipline, integrating it into daily life, not just during stress, but during work, conversation, and reflection. The beauty of this habit is its accessibility. You do not need equipment, a schedule, or a special environment. Your breath is always with you, ready to be transformed into a source of power and peace. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Over time, you will notice yourself responding differently to challenges. Where once you reacted with haste, you will pause and breathe. Where once you drowned in anxiety, you will anchor yourself in calm. To master the art of intentional breathing is to recognize that life itself is measured in breaths. By choosing to guide them rather than squander them, you cultivate a strength that is invisible yet undeniable. Each inhale becomes an act of renewal, each exhale a release of what no longer serves you. In this rhythm, you do not merely survive, you begin to thrive. 4. Feed your mind before the world feeds it for you. Your mind is the gateway through which everything in your life is filtered, shaped, and understood. What you allow to enter it will eventually manifest in your actions, decisions, and character. Each day begins with a choice. Will you nourish your mind with wisdom, truth, and clarity, or will you surrender it to noise, confusion, and distraction? The world is eager to rush in with its messages. Advertisements screaming for your attention, headlines designed to provoke fear, voices on social media competing for influence. If you do not intentionally feed your mind first, the world will gladly do it for you, and the result is a scattered, reactive, and weakened life. To feed your mind before the world feeds it for you is to reclaim ownership of your inner life. The morning is the most vulnerable yet most powerful moment. What you take in during those first minutes does more than inform, it forms. Begin your day by opening a book that elevates your thoughts, reading words that carry weight, or meditating on principles that anchor your soul. Choose sources that challenge you to think, that inspire you to grow, that align you with truth rather than deception. Just as the body withers without food, the mind withers without intentional nourishment. Filling it with wisdom at the start of the day acts like armor, preparing you for the battles that will inevitably come. When you allow the world to feed your mind first, you risk starting on shaky ground. The endless scroll of digital platforms, the barrage of opinions, the pressure of constant notifications, all of these create an environment of reaction. You begin responding rather than leading, consuming rather than creating, surviving rather than thriving. The more this cycle continues, the more difficult it becomes to discern your own thoughts from the noise around you. Feeding your mind intentionally before the world speaks ensures that you begin from a place of strength, clarity, and focus. This habit does not require hours, but rather deliberate moments. 10 minutes spent reading something timeless, journaling your thoughts, or sitting in reflection can redirect the entire course of your day. These small investments compound over time, reshaping your mental landscape. You will find yourself speaking with more wisdom, making decisions with greater conviction, and approaching challenges with resilience. The transformation may be subtle at first, but soon even others will notice that your words carry weight, your presence feels grounded, and your outlook shines with clarity. The discipline of feeding your mind first is about choosing influence wisely. Every voice you allow in becomes a seed planted within you. Some seeds bring growth, others bring decay. If you do not guard the soil of your mind, weeds will overtake it. But if you plant with intention, nurturing your inner world with truth and strength, you will harvest a life that is unshakable. Each morning you hold this choice. Begin with wisdom and the world loses its power to derail you. That is how small acts of nourishment create a life that becomes unrecognizable, anchored, focused, and unyielding to the chaos around it. 5. Move daily, even in the smallest ways. Movement is life. From the beat of your heart to the rhythm of your breath, your body was designed for motion. Yet in the modern age, convenience has stripped much of that natural rhythm away. We sit for hours, confined to desks, cars, and screens, and then wonder why we feel sluggish, stiff, or drained. Many believe that unless movement comes in the form of an intense workout or a trip to the gym, it is not worth pursuing. But the truth is far simpler and far more freeing. It is not about intensity, it is about consistency. To move daily, even in the smallest ways, is to remind your body of what it was built for and to ignite vitality that transforms not only your health, but also your state of mind. Think of movement as medicine. A few minutes of stretching in the morning can awaken muscles that otherwise remain dormant. A short walk after meals aids digestion and clears mental fog. Standing up to stretch during long hours of work resets both your posture and your focus. These are not monumental efforts, yet they carry a compounding effect. The body responds to movement with gratitude. Blood flows more freely, joints remain lubricated, and energy levels rise. Neglect, on the other hand, brings decline, stiffness, and eventually pain. Daily movement is also a declaration of respect for your future self. Every step you take, every muscle you engage, every small action you repeat becomes an investment in longevity. The difference between those who age with strength and those who collapse under frailty often lies in these daily choices. Movement preserves independence, sharpens coordination, and strengthens resilience. The smallest routines, climbing stairs instead of taking an elevator, standing instead of sitting, choosing to stretch instead of scrolling, are silent but powerful investments in the years ahead. There is also a profound connection between movement and mental clarity. When the body is stagnant, the mind often follows. But when you move, you release endorphins, reduce stress, and sharpen focus. Ideas flow more freely when you walk. Confidence rises when your body feels alive and capable. Even the act of correcting your posture, lifting your chest, rolling your shoulders back, breathing deeply, sends a signal to your brain that you are alert, present, and ready. These physical cues shape your mental state more than most realize. Do not underestimate the spiritual weight of daily movement. It is a reminder that your body is not an obstacle but a vessel, one that deserves care, attention, and strengthening. To neglect it is to neglect a gift. To move it, even in the smallest ways, is to honor that gift and to keep it prepared for the calling set before you. The habit of daily movement will not make headlines, nor will it feel dramatic in the moment, but practiced faithfully, it reshapes everything: how you feel, how you think, how you show up in the world. You may not notice the change after a week or even a month, but in time, others will see a version of you that is vibrant, strong, and nearly unrecognizable. That is the quiet power of simply choosing to move. 6. Guard your digital gates relentlessly. The modern world offers a constant stream of information, voices, and images clamoring for your attention. With just a single swipe, you can be flooded with opinions, advertisements, and endless distractions. Technology itself is not the enemy, but unchecked exposure is. If you are not deliberate about what you allow into your mind through your digital gates, you risk surrendering your focus, your peace, and even your identity. Guarding these gates relentlessly is not about fear. It is about wisdom. Just as you would not leave the doors of your home open for anyone to walk in, neither should you leave the gateways of your mind unprotected. Every notification you check first thing in the morning, every headline that stirs fear, every endless scroll that consumes your time comes with a cost. Small choices accumulate until you are no longer steering your own thoughts, but reacting to what others feed you. What begins as casual curiosity quickly turns into hours lost and energy drained. Over time, it erodes your ability to focus deeply, to think critically, and to live intentionally. To guard your digital gates relentlessly is to reclaim authority over what you consume, ensuring that the tools designed to serve you do not enslave you. The practice begins with awareness. Ask yourself, what am I letting in? Which accounts, videos, or articles shape my emotions and thoughts daily? Are they elevating me or diminishing me? Are they planting seeds of wisdom or weeds of confusion? Each digital input is a voice whispering into your inner life. Some voices build, others corrode. The discipline of guarding your gates means curating those voices, unfollowing what poisons your perspective, muting what steals your peace, and prioritizing content that aligns with the life you are striving to build. Another aspect of this habit is setting boundaries on time. Technology is designed to keep you hooked, to exploit your attention for profit. Without clear limits, hours vanish unnoticed. By setting times for digital use, silencing unnecessary notifications, or designating device-free spaces, you create freedom rather than restriction. These small but intentional boundaries protect your focus, allowing you to be fully present in your work, your relationships, and your inner growth. Guarding your digital gates is also about strengthening discernment. Not every message deserves your attention, and not every opinion deserves your energy. Learning to filter, to question, and to walk away from what distracts is as crucial as choosing what to engage with. This is how you protect your mental clarity and emotional balance in a world that thrives on noise. Over time, the rewards of this habit are undeniable. You will notice sharper focus, deeper peace, and a greater sense of authority over your own life. The world will still shout, but it will no longer control you. By guarding your digital gates relentlessly, you ensure that your mind remains a sanctuary, not a marketplace. And in that sanctuary, transformation takes root, making you unrecognizable, centered, wise, and undistracted by the noise of a world that never sleeps. 7. End each day with a reflection, not regret. The close of each day is more than the fading of light. It is a sacred pause, a checkpoint where you can either collapse into distraction or rise into wisdom. Too many end their nights with regret, replaying mistakes, or numbing themselves with endless entertainment, as though avoiding the weight of the day will somehow erase it. But neglecting reflection robs you of the chance to grow. Ending each day with reflection is not about judgment, but about awareness. It is the deliberate act of asking, what did I learn today? How did I live? Where did I drift? And where did I stand strong? These questions transform ordinary days into building blocks of extraordinary growth. Reflection turns experiences into teachers. Without it, you stumble through patterns blindly, repeating the same errors. With it, you extract wisdom, converting even failure into fuel. By taking a few quiet moments at night to review your actions, choices, and emotions, you create space to redirect tomorrow. This practice is not long or complex. It may be as simple as jotting down 3 lessons learned, 3 things you are grateful for, and 1 way you can improve. These small reflections plant seeds of growth that compound over time into profound transformation. Regret, by contrast, is passive. It looks back with heaviness, but offers no path forward. Reflection is active. It looks back in order to look ahead with clarity. One imprisons, the other empowers. The difference is intention. By choosing reflection, you refuse to be a prisoner of yesterday and instead become an architect of tomorrow. It shifts your perspective from guilt to growth, from despair to determination. There is also great peace found in ending the day with reflection. When you release the day into review, you unburden your mind before sleep. You acknowledge what went well, forgive what did not, and reset your compass. This clears away the mental clutter that so often keeps people restless at night. Rest becomes deeper because the weight of unresolved thoughts is lifted. You sleep not as someone escaping the day, but as someone completing it with dignity. Reflection also fosters gratitude. In pausing to acknowledge the small blessings, the overlooked victories, the unexpected kindnesses, you train your eyes to see abundance where others see only lack. Gratitude reshapes the heart, softening bitterness and amplifying joy. Over time, this practice not only changes how you see the past, but how you approach the future, with expectancy rather than dread. Ending your day with reflection is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is a way of ensuring that no day is wasted, that even in missteps, there is meaning. Those who commit to this habit often find that their lives become marked by steady growth, deeper peace, and clearer direction. Others may not understand the quiet power of it, but they will see the results. A person who carries wisdom, calm, and resilience. A person unrecognizable from who they once were.